What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the single player Let's Play series. This is take two. For some reason, the first part of this, it was recording me at the title screen. So, this episode, I want to get autocrafting set up. So, the autocrafting setup for a planetary logistics is a little bit different from refined storage, which is what we did in the last Let's Play. We will not be creating crafters or any molecular assembler type multi-block thing. Actually, we are, but not the same one. So there was the refined storage multi-block crafter that we ended up using at the end of the 110.2 Let's Play. This one, we have this multiple block setup using molecular assemblers. Acceleration cards are optional, and ME interfaces. So an ME interface is used to basically store your recipes, and the molecular assembler is used to craft recipes submitted through the storage. So the purpose of that, or like the idea though, behind that is that we want to go through and be able to balance how much uh, how much crafting do we want to be able to do in a certain amount of time versus how much crafting do we want to have available to us. Oh no, we're actually running out of space. Okay, so I have an idea, but we're going to need to rethink this room pretty substantially. This is now going to be a center room. We're going to put a room on the other side there. What this means is that all of this needs to go, all this trim here, needs to be relocated because we're going to do something a little bit different here. Okay, so I think that brings us to a wrap on building out this area. So we have made it back to symmetry, kind of, sort of. Oh yeah, this guy needs to come with. So to make this look all fancy and still match with the theme, but make it also seem like, kind of broken down. Not really, but kind of broken down and not in great shape. And all these, sort of different conditions for these things. I've gone through here and made steel scaffolding around this area so that when you come in, you've got all this steel scaffolding. And then in an attempt to hide the elevator, which there's not really a lot we can do about that, and because I didn't really know how I wanted this guy to be here, because I don't think I like the idea of having it just freestanding. So we could put them on the upper halves here. That's a little better. We could do that in theory. We can still walk through here. Yeah, I think I like this best, because I can still walk through, but I don't have to sacrifice the aesthetic there of, having it still look supported across the middle, but also not being super, like, on top of you as far as it being too short. It's only an extra half block, but better than nothing. So let's take a look at a few things and get them bookmarked. We're going to want the molecular assembler. We're going to want some acceleration cards, probably. We're definitely going to want some more dense Fluix cable. So we're going to go ahead and get the smart cables, and the smart cables are made with just the standard ones. Oh, you have to make those, and then these are made with these. these are made with these. These are made by that. Cool. And that's also part of why I wanted to get that wool farm. If I can spell wool, you would see that I have a decent bit. So let's go also give it a harvest and see. Actually, it's a new moon, isn't it? You can know, actually, it's getting close. You can tell because it's actually substantially darker outside. I've added this, oh, what is it called? There's a darkness mod that I've added. So let's give these guys a shear. Why don't we look into the things that we need to get together, especially now that a lot of our resources are pretty, I wouldn't say infinite, but we're getting infinite for a lot of things. And it's actually kind of nice not to even think about this stuff anymore, that we can just sort of toss this stuff together and then we're done. So, let's see. First things first is the molecular assembler. This guy is not hard. I thought this was going to be a lot harder. Oh, yeah. We also want the ME interface. Yeah, this is crazy easy. I don't know why we spent so long not doing this. We just did. So I don't even need anything from up here, really. There's a few things that we might, but I can just kind of blink up there and then go back down. So we need a lot of charged quartz. So let's go ahead and get that handled. If I put this in here. Yeah, no, that's doing its thing. So I'm just going to leave this running for a little bit so that we can get some extra charged flux crystals. In the meantime, I'm going to be looking at the other recipe components that we need here, because if I'm going to grab a stack of each of those, that means we're going to get a decent bit of things, but we're also going to need, it looks like a decent amount of flux dust and these logic processors. Okay, so let's get ourselves a stack of the annihilation cores. And then we just have to wait for the rest of the gold to process. Okay, so we have our logic processors here as well. Let's go ahead and get our formation core, right? Yes, we have annihilation. We should have enough for a stack of those. Excellent. So at this point, we just need some quartz dust, which I think we have plenty of, as well as the fact that we already had a little bit of quartz glass to begin with. I think we should be fine with 38. We're going to need some crafting tables. I just wanted the normal one, thanks. Oh yeah, I've got fast workbench now, which is going to override the crafting table. Forgot about that. So how many of these do we want to make? If we have a stack each, we need to come up with a design, I think. So this is the best one. I don't know why it took me so long to figure this out. This is a very clear winner. Diagonals would make it so that each corner has 3. Also makes it so that it's precisely 8 channels per one of these blocks. So we have also enough to make a lot of these blocks, which is, in my opinion, particularly convenient because I can come through here. Let's see, where did I put that one block away? The only issue with these is that they're even numbers. So aesthetically, they're gonna be suboptimal aesthetically. But I don't. I'll figure something out for that or whatever. So let's see. Alright, so why don't we get onto the wiring for these. Should be surprisingly easy. We're also obviously going to have extras, but I just don't see us needing them yet, so I'm going to just kind of keep them on the side burner until we do. Of course we're surrounded by lava, because that's exactly what I don't really want right now. So here's my plan, right? If you recall, because this is kind of a long ways and I'm lazy, there should be a dense fluix transformer. I want one of these. Doesn't look that bad. Steel wire is the only kind of tricky part here. So let's get a couple of those, or one of those, so that I can basically transmit over immersive engineering wires And we're going to need our dense cables and our flux cables, which we already have in our inventory. And what I plan to do is, well, okay, so those aren't really, okay, that's fine. We can do 3 of 32. Yeah, that sounds fine to me. That one will attach, and we're just going to start sending this down the hall. That's pretty much my plan. So we will go from here to here. I hope they'll let me. Great. This is where things get a little tricky. And now we're back on the road for this. So we're just going to make a little 1x2 tunnel for this here. There we go. I knew eventually we should hit it. And so from here, I think if I put one here, you should be able to reach, yes? I'm just trying to make it so that I can actually get this to work. And then, I guess from here, we are pretty much good. I'm gonna grab this one. I'm just gonna go and put a relay here just because why not? And then we'll have our dense cable here. Here? Do I want it there? I feel like I don't want it there, and what I actually want is for it to break more easily. But what I actually want, I think, is to have it here with our other end of this transformer here. And then, I don't know if this will work. I would hope so. This to that. Yep, great, cool. So with that, we've now gone from having to route a lot of these guys to just, here's the one. So 0 of 32 channels kind of concerns me. I really thought it should be more. But the idea here is that we're going to have this one running up the center here. Not to there, but... It's odd. Morphing tool is acting a little finicky today. So we will have this, and this will be a good test to see if this even works. So this should be 8 of 8 channels or 4 of 8 channels. Do these not count? Or do these not count? Something here is not counting. Hang on now. Interesting. Well, I guess that's better that way than any other way. I'm going to be this guy. I actually want it to go into this block because it's opaque. So you won't be able to see the cable coming in through the bottom. And it's also going to prove my point that that actually is going to work. Okay, so these are online now. And I love this little rainbow animation. I think it's really pretty. So there are a few things that we have left that we need to kind of address to get actual crafting to work. So we need a few different types of terminal now. We need a pattern terminal. We need a interface terminal. And the reason we want the interface terminal is that throughout our entire AE network here, we may or may not have any series of block setups. So this is just the auto crafting room for recipes. We'll probably end up needing to either put in here or create an auto crafting room for machines. And so in order to do that, you're going to have an interface for it as well. And so nevertheless, you can have these interfaces anywhere. Like, let's say I decided to put them up in the factory, which would be a logical choice and wouldn't be a bad idea. Well, then you have the issue of having to run all over the place if you want to add a recipe. The purpose of the interface terminal is that any terminal or any interface that's acting as a crafting interface, which is what these pattern storage blocks start here for, any that's acting like one of those will show up in this interface, and it will actually show the name of the UI that it's attached to, and will cluster them together. So it makes it really easy to go through and do these things. So we're going to need to make these two terminals. These two terminals are both pretty straightforward. We're going to need the interface, which fortunately we have a couple of, and we're going to need 2 of the diamond-based circuits. I don't remember all the names, I just remember the materials. So let's see. Okay, the interface terminal we can make. Like I said, so this guy's going to show us all of the interfaces which are connected currently. We'll put it on this side. So you can see impulse item duct, which is this guy down here. Molecular assembler times 16. So that's showing that we have 16. I don't understand why it's showing these. Those are from literally right here. I don't necessarily follow why these are showing up. Show or hide on the interface terminal. Hide. I'm going to hide these. We don't want these here. They're not interfaces that should show up here. So we have 16 molecular assembler terminals. The pattern terminal here, the purpose of it will be to create these patterns. There we go. ME pattern terminal. I have an extra logic processor. Not going to complain about that. And so we can put it here. Again, doesn't really matter. That's interesting and also super cool how that kind of masked itself out. That's some interesting work on this mod. I'm actually really impressed with it. It's called Dark Mode, I think. I can go look. It's actually a mod doing it. It's not a resource pack. It's called Dark Theme Mod. It's really cool. You should go check it out. I like dark themes, so this really made me happy. It works on as many inventories as it possibly can, as many UIs, so it does a decently good job, actually. So, we have a few different kinds of recipes that we can do. We can do a crafting pattern or a processing, not pre-processing, pattern. So, the way that these work is that if we want to craft something automatically, we'll come through here and do a crafting pattern. If we want to process something in a machine automatically, we'll make a processing pattern. Similar to refined storage, nothing particularly mind-blowingly new there. So we're going to start with a crafting pattern because I want to auto-craft patterns. It's just kind of a thing that makes sense to do, is to start off by auto-crafting patterns. So we're going to teach this recipe to that. Instead of having to run all the way over here and stick it in an interface, I can just put it right there. And you can see that, and when you put it in, it actually shows you what you're crafting rendered for you. So now I can come in here and say, craft me 10 patterns. And it's going to say, no crafting CPUs are available, because I forgot about the crafting CPU aspect. Yikes. I completely forgot about the crafting storage. I thought it was crafting. I think it's a crafting unit, actually. I don't think it's a craft. I think it's. Yeah. Oh, man, I forgot about this entirely. You know what? This might just have to be a two-part episode, because I completely forgot about that, and I thought this seemed a little bit, like, odd. So we can at least put them here and here, I suppose, once we do actually get them put together and everything, but I think this is going to have to be a two-part episode. Alright guys, so I think we should reasonably have enough time to get all this stuff done. So what we need is actually not as bad as I originally thought it was. I actually don't know why I thought it was going to be quite so terrible. So we need to look at some things from applied energistics again, needless to say, and that's actually going to be these things over here. So we're going to need some co-crafting, or some crafting co-processing units will be helpful, so we're going to probably make some of those. To make that, we're going to need the raw crafting unit, and then each one of these is just a storage component, so we're going to probably do 4K. Think 4K should be just fine. So in essence here, we're actually not too terribly far off from what we want. We're just going to need to grab how many... Alright, so let's grab probably a stack of gold. Probably, what, half a stack of you. And go ahead and get some of this processing, and then we should be good to go. So we're going to grab 4 of these. And so at this point, we should be able to combine these. That gets us part of what we want. We do also want these co-processing units. They kind of help distribute a lot of the logic too. So we can grab probably 4 of those as well and do 2 of each. So then, let's see, those will go here. And you see, as soon as I put this down, it converts texture to this much nicer texture. This is just the offline/invalid texture. But these can only go in one direction. So if I build up, I can't also go out. So that's what this invalid texture basically is for. But I'm going to build up, so I'm going to have basically 1, 1, 1, 1. Like, it's going to be back and forth between coprocessor and not coprocessor. At least that's my plan. So we're going to go and grab these. We're going to make a few more cables. So let's see. How much glass... What was my limitation there? Was it just that I quit making glass fiber? Yes. Good. Okay, so we're going to need some more of these. So to do that, we're going to need these 4 more. Yay. And then diamond ones. Cool. Alright, so that gives us most of the things that we need now. So the last things that we need here are 4 crafting coprocessors. We don't really need them, but they're going to make this significantly faster as far as I recall. So one of the things that the crafting storage does is prevent/expand how much you can craft at once. So if I wanted to craft like 1,000 items at once, I might have some trouble here with 4Ks. But let's be real. I don't usually do that. And if I did, then I could just make it better. So in the end, if we need more, we can always do like a cross pattern, because remember, I can't face them. I can't put them next to each other at this point, but I can do them like this. So, and this as a whole, I believe, is using 1 channel. Yeah, see, so it's not as bad as it sounds. So if that's using a channel, then we would use like 6 for this. Not that bad. This room is actually pretty well prepared with that dense line that's coming right through here. You can see we're actually submitting 18 of 32 channels through there. Not bad at all. We're doing pretty well considering what all this supplies us with. So now if we look over at the auto crafting at this point, we can exclusively look at craftable. If I ask for those patterns now, should be able to make, let's make 16. So quartz glass is a limitation. That's not technically wrong. How does one make quartz glass? Yeah, well, great. We're going to need to make more quartz. That is already done. That's insane that we've made this much steel so quickly. Alright, so let's teach you how to make quartz glass then, if that's going to be a thing. So we should be able to hit R for this. Let's see. So we're going to say, yeah, specifically don't try to replace any of those things. Oh, and you know what? I only made a pattern, so I will have to make some more patterns. Let's see. Blank pattern is going to be quartz glass. So now I should be able to request blank pattern. How much quartz glass did I make? And that requires 2, so we should be able to make 2 of these. Start. And now we should see, boom, 2 patterns. So it seems as though, by the way, these are linked on the same config. That's actually rather unfortunate. Okay. So now we can go say, here's how to make quartz glass. And then if why am I running all the way over here? That's what the interface terminal is for. Now if I throw this in here, we can see that I can request a pattern even though I don't have the quartz glass, and we can actually request maybe half a stack now, and it's going to use all these different resources that we have right here. I do wish that didn't use that pattern though. So we're going to actually specifically say use this quartz. So prevent substitutions of input for these components. And then what we can do actually is come over here and grab this recipe. And you're going to see as soon as I put this in here, it's going to put that recipe back the way it was. What we actually want is this, so we can change it. And as we put that back into that same, like if we re-encode the same item essentially, I can now request a pattern, even half a stack of patterns, and we should see that it's going to start using normal Certus quartz, which is preferred, just because it makes no sense. So you can see this is pretty quick. It can obviously get massively quicker, but I do think it's still pretty cool. So let me think of something that we can craft that I can just show you guys how this thing works, because it's really cool to watch it. Actually, I don't have to show you anything. I can just request quartz glass, and we can get maybe, let's go and get a stack. And so you can see right here, that's where that item is being made, because I'm assuming one of these guys, holds those recipes. Here we go. So see, this guy's holding those recipes. It's literally just going to put those items in there. So if I requested one more, you should see, well, maybe it's too quick. That's pretty quick though. So these guys then, we can actually right click on them to see their crafting status. So if we want to know how far along we are in a recipe. So I think this also limits how many simultaneous craftings we can have at once, although I'm not 100% sure on that either. I have to read up a little bit. Next episode, I promise I'll be a little bit more knowledgeable. But there you go. So in between episodes, I'm going to read up on that. I'm also going to start encoding some recipes that are kind of monotonous that we've done a few times. Next episode, I hope, although no promises here, but I hope that we can sit down and start doing auto-crafting for machine recipes such as this, where I don't have to even come over here and do this anymore. I say I want X item that requires these items, and it makes all the in-betweens for us. That'll be kind of our plan for the rest of the series is, here's this thing that's not automated yet. Let's automate it. Not for everything. I'm not Direwolf 20, but I do want to do it for at least a decent few things like this stuff, like these recipes. Anything inside of AE itself tends to be rather monotonous, so I'd like to have that automated just for the sake of my own sanity. It can get pretty annoying in my opinion. So I'd really like to be able to have that all kind of handled for me instead of having to keep on figuring out, okay, where did I put this machine, or having to teleport back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth to get the right amount of quartz glass or the right amount of this or that. You know, it'd be really convenient not to have to do that anymore. So there we go. Remember how long it used to make just a stack of steel? In that amount of time, we have made, here, I can tell you exactly how much steel we have made. We have made, well, not exactly, but I can tell you approximately how much. We've made a little bit, I would say about 512 stacks, or 512 steel, in about 10 minutes. So yeah, if you needed any sort of hint that that was the way to go with this, well, I hope that should do it. Because I think that's pretty insane. I think that's a pretty good amount of steel in just a very short amount of time. So I think this is going to call it for now. You can see the Hardcore Darkness is doing its job. It's very pretty out here. Even if it is spookily dark, which I'm sure looks terrible for the video, it's just something about it is just so cool to me. So yeah, I think I'm going to call the episode there finally. We've definitely gotten quite a lot done this episode, so I hope you guys enjoyed it very much. As you can see, I'm back on a more routine schedule. I'm actually gaming on a PC again, as you may be able to tell from my cursor being a slightly different black cursor. I do still prefer a black cursor though. But I'm back. I actually have a gaming PC and my Mac now, so I have the best of both worlds. I program and video edit on the Mac, and I play games on the PC. So just kind of something that I had to save up for, and I just happened to run across a couple of financial situations that landed me here. Not the best place to talk, is it? So yeah, just kind of wanted to let you guys know that I'm back in it a little more regularly. Still working like crazy. In fact, right now, the reason I was able to afford it was because I'm getting a 40-hour work week permit, basically. So only for a few weeks I can work 40 hours a week, which is helping me out big time. So I hope you guys are just as excited as I am for some of the future stuff that we're doing in this Let's Play series. And also, hopefully, you're excited about a couple of things coming soon with 1.14. I'm going to eventually have like an open video discussion of the Geolysis update that I've been working on for so long. Well, 3 weeks now, actually not that long. But so I hope you guys stay tuned for that one as well when I post it and kind of give me your thoughts and opinions. So until then, I will see you in the next one.